Oh, they call him Titty Two Chins. Titty Titty Two Chins. 'Cause he's got man titties and two chins.
My souped-up V6 Mustang car, I'm about to drive this baby down to Hooligan's Bar and get wild, stalk a chow. You don't get to speak to me, little baby chow. I'm into things, peanut butter in your mouth.
Because it's funny. Because it's just so fucking funny.
Hello and welcome to Cryptic Web Chronicles. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy today's video. The intro you just witnessed was a showcase of parody songs created by the Opie and Anthony forums. With many members possessing varying degrees of talent, the O&A community has a long history of creating satirical and mocking artwork depicting various characters related to the Opie and Anthony universe. As you might already know from my earlier videos, the O&A forums has also been embroiled in a years-long, never-ending internet feud with a failed author and comedian named Patrick S. Tomlinson. While my previous videos primarily delve into Tomlinson's questionable allegations regarding his trolls, including claims of stalking, death threats, and swattings that many on O&A forums believe are orchestrated by Patrick himself, today we will be looking at a different, equally interesting angle of this story. In today's video, we will be uncovering some of the things O&A forums members are confirmed to be guilty of perpetrating against Patrick. This includes acts of trolling, prank calls, and other actions that have been carried out by trolls in order to annoy or embarrass Patrick and his wife Nikki. I want to emphasize that while I may highlight the humor in some of these trolling incidents while presenting them to you, I do not endorse or condone these actions. Furthermore, it's important to acknowledge that some of the behaviors exhibited by trolls have closely approached the line between trolling and harassment. I do not approve of or encourage illegal activity against Lolcows or anyone else. As you may already know, as a notorious Lolcow, Patrick Tomlinson spends a large portion of his life on Twitter, where he responds to trolls hundreds of times a day to threaten them with imprisonment. Since the O&A community and others online started trolling Patrick in 2018, Twitter has been one of the primary platforms he's been targeted on. If you weren't aware, this all seems to have started after Patrick wrote a tweet saying, "Comedian Norm Macdonald isn't funny." This tweet, coupled with Patrick's inability to stop engaging with trolls, and the fact Patrick himself was a deeply unfunny, failed comedian, ultimately resulted in the Opie and Anthony subreddit turning Patrick into a lolcow. During the flame war that ensued, the O&A subreddit was banned, and the community had to migrate to the O&A forums. There is much more to the story, including Patrick paying $83,000 to the admin of O&A forums after filing a failed lawsuit, as I've covered previously in this video series. It seems that Patrick not only feels compelled to obsessively reply to every troll that tags him in posts on Twitter, but also regularly searches his own name to battle with trolls that haven't even tagged or mentioned him. Patrick also seems to have a habit of repeatedly blocking and unblocking his trolls, and he often blocks people before compulsively reading their posts, only briefly unblocking them when he feels the urge to reply. Apparently convinced that responding in this manner means he isn't feeding the trolls, Patrick has been known to respond to these trolls' tweets over 300 times in a single day, writing the same impotent and idiotic threats to end their lives and send them all to prison. There even appears to be a handful of Twitter trolls that Patrick keeps up with on a daily basis, despite having them blocked. At any given moment, you can look at Patrick's replies and potentially find hundreds of responses to the same few troll accounts. These include parody accounts of Patrick's little brother Kyle, as well as Patrick's own toilet, a female version of himself named Patty Meatloaf, a Canadian boomer whom Patrick claims is the son of mob hitman Robert Porngay, and a revolving door of other troll accounts that exist solely to mock him online. To me, it honestly appears as though Patrick obsessively reads and responds to these blocked accounts all day long, and stupid obsessive behavior like this is probably how he earned the title of Lolcow in the first place. Let's examine a random selection of Twitter interactions Patrick has engaged in over the years to demonstrate how he seems ready and willing to continue feeding his trolls. One early exchange between Patrick and a lone troll that I'd like to highlight stands out as one of the stranger and dumber interactions he has chosen to participate in. This Twitter exchange likely fueled much of the future trolling Patrick experienced, as screenshots of it were widely shared, receiving thousands of upvotes on ROPie and Anthony in October of 2018. A troll by the name of FartPoop22 would tweet drawings that appeared to show a black wiener urinating onto Patrick's face while he begged for more. Patrick, for some reason, would tweet out screenshots of these drawings for all of his followers to see, apparently outraged over the fact Twitter support decided not to remove the posts. Why at Twitter support and their enforcement policies are a joke. Example number 1 million. Hashtag Stop Siding with Trolls Jack. You may have noticed that Patrick is posting from a different account in these screenshots, as he typically tweets from his account at StealthyGeek. However, shortly after Patrick made the 2018 Norm Macdonald tweet and was discovered by the O&A subreddit, the group mass reported several tweets Tomlinson made that violated Twitter's rules in an attempt to get him kicked off the platform as a way to troll him. This suspension enraged Patrick, and he immediately made a new account to continue his social media antics. However, this account was also later suspended for ban evasion, as was another Twitter account Patrick created using the name and picture of his pet cat Mueller. As I covered in episode 1 of this series, Patrick would pathetically attempt to convince people that this Mueller account was a Patrick Tomlinson fan page coming to his defense, all while writing and arguing in the same condescending tone as Patrick. To me, this behavior shows Patrick was addicted to feeding his trolls. Ironically, he was simultaneously accusing internet trolls of the very same thing. In another instance of Twitter trolling, on February 24, 2024, Farty Tits Tomlinson, using the handle FartOnPatsTits, quoted a thread between Patrick and one of his followers, writing, "My butt sounds like a trombone, all over Patrick's big naturals." At StealthyGeek agreed to let me fart on his bosom to raise hashtag breast cancer awareness. Patrick replied with his typical response, seemingly numb to the fact that he was taking the time to reply to such a juvenile troll post. "This is why your life is already over, stalker. Enjoy prison." On March 6, 2024, a tweet by Patty Meatloaf highlights how Patrick was awake at 6:50 in the morning and threatened a Twitter user named Penis Pooplinson with prison 15 times in under 7 minutes. Patrick would go on to reply, threatening Patty Meatloaf, "This is why your life is already over, stalker. Enjoy prison." As evident, Patrick continues to engage with his Twitter trolls relentlessly, with no shortage of them in sight. As you may know by now, though, Patrick's interactions with trolls extend beyond social media. At some point in 2020, users began to post Patrick's phone number to O&A forums and shared the text message exchanges they'd had with Pat. Instead of immediately blocking the trolls or changing his phone number, Patrick instead wrote daily replies to trolls' texts, often to argue or threaten them with prison. Hundreds of these exchanges have been posted on O&A forums, and while I obviously don't endorse these actions, it's difficult to believe Patrick's claims of harassment when he makes no efforts to stop replying or change phone numbers. Patrick texts his trolls so often, there's even an account on the forums known as Ricky Leaks that anonymously shares text message screenshots that other users send in via private message. The end of each post reads as follows. This message has been transmitted via anonymous submission to Ricky Leaks. As always, DMs are open for submission of anything any user wants posted anonymously. Several characters have popped up to send Patrick prank texts throughout the forum's history. A long cast of characters including Space Edge, the Lizard King, Fez Fucked Baby Love, Honey Badger, and various WWE wrestlers have all messaged Patrick with recurring bits in the past as well, with some of them being quite unusual. Honey Badger, for example, often sends images of his wife's beautiful breasts to Patrick, along with messages mocking and insulting Pat. Fez Fucked Baby Love, on the other hand, appears to genuinely be a homeless fentanyl addict who often sends pictures of drugs to Patrick alongside insane messages trolling him. The most famous of all of these characters, though, is the notorious troll Space Edge. In addition to repeatedly prank-calling Patrick and sending him prank texts on a daily basis in the past, Space Edge would also later reveal himself as none other than investigative journalist Thomas Apostle, whom, as I covered in my previous video, masterminded a wild conspiracy to troll Patrick and sabotage his lawsuit against the O and A forums. Space Edge has likely texted Patrick hundreds of times previously, and is considered the most dedicated and prolific trolls in this entire saga. Because O and A forums has gone down and changed servers several times in the past, I unfortunately don't have access to the full archive of all of the texts and troll posts made by Space Edge throughout O and A forums history. However, let's take a look at a more recent text message exchange between Patrick and Space Edge that was shared on April 4th, 2023. To give some context here, after losing his lawsuit against the O and A forums, Patrick owed a debt to the admin of the forums and was legally required to pay it. Part of the process of ordering Patrick to pay the debt was forcing him to go through a debtor's exam, where he would be questioned under oath about his finances and how much money he had. While Patrick had initially refused to pay the debt and seemed to believe he would never have to, he later received the court summons for the debtor's exam and learned he would face contempt of court charges and jail time if he didn't begin the process of paying what he owed. After the court summons was delivered to Patrick, Space Edge sent him a text message to taunt him over the fact that he had just lost a lawsuit against his trolls and owed the forum admin thousands of dollars. The exchange would go as follows. Space Edge wrote, "Hi Pat, I'm Thomas Apostle. You may remember me from such embarrassments as releasing your entire evidence folder, tricking you into the Josiah tapes, and reporting the SFWA's data breach. I'm here today to tell you that I know you were served court summons for your debtor's exam last week. You have been ordered to report for the exam within a few weeks. Are you prepared?" Patrick would respond, "All crimes you face many years of prison for, stalker. Enjoy them." Space Edge wrote back, "Nikki can also be ordered to testify at your debtor's exam. So can Lynn. You have receipts for those vacations you tweeted about?" Patrick replied, "That first night you spend in prison, stalker. Will it have been worth it for you?" Space Edge wrote, "Patrick, your debtor's exam is serious. You got Quasi's money, child?" Patrick would send his standard copy and paste prison threats in response. "You're going to prison, stalker. You are mentally ill, stalker. You have been instructed many thousands of times to cease contacting this phone number. Continuing to do so constitutes felony telephone harassment. Do not contact this number again." Space Edge replied, saying, "Child, child, child. So, Pat, you know how you got served? There's always been more than just the one mole, Patrick. Maybe if you were a little more nice to me, I would tell you who's spilling your secrets." Patrick answered back, "No one is spilling a thing, stalker. No one is talking to you. You don't have any sources. What you have is a mental illness that compels you to obsessively commit felonies against my family crimes that have placed you on an unavoidable path to many, many years in prison. Enjoy your wasted years locked in a cage, stalker. We're going to. You are going to prison, stalker. You are mentally ill, stalker. You have been instructed many thousands of times to cease contacting this phone number. Continuing to do so constitutes felony telephone harassment. Do not contact this number again." Space Edge chided back, "Now that's not very nice at all. Compliment me on my appearance and I'll give you a hint. Did you even notice my new shoes? Patrick, if I don't have sources, how do I know you got served for your debtor's exam last week?" The conversation would end here. It's clear from Patrick's lengthy responses that he is greatly aggravated by these text messages. While Space Edge's behavior and messages may approach the line of harassment, Patrick's verbose replies weaken his harassment claims, as he does not make much of an effort to cease the communication. Let's explore a few more text exchanges between Patrick and other O and A trolls to observe further the chaos that the O and A forums has become, with trolling Patrick evolving into a group spectacle. On August 8th, 2022, a troll would start an innocuous exchange with Patrick, pretending as though the messages were from an automated service. It reads as follows. Your pest control consultation is confirmed for August 9th, 2022 at 8 a.m. CST. You will receive a call when your pest expert is on the way. We accept checks, cash, or credit card. $50 no-show fee may be applied if not canceled before 24 hours. Merrick Pest Control. Reply, stop to unsubscribe. Patrick would respond to the text message, writing, I made no appointment. You are being manipulated by cyberstalkers. The troll would write back immediately, saying, We're sorry. Your message was not received. Reply, stop to stop. Patrick would text back, Stop. The next day, the troll would text Patrick again. This is David with Merrick Pest. We tried reaching you several times today and received no answer regarding your appointment at 8 this morning. Unfortunately, our policy requires us to bill out a $50 no-show fee for missed appointments, as our consultants' schedules stay booked. When you receive the bill by mail, you will have the option to pay with a card or check. Thank you, Patrick would reply. I made no appointment, so no. The troll wrote back, This phone number is on the appointment order form. Do you stay at Glen Avenue in Milwaukee? It's in our system as Rick Tomlinson. If this is not your address, you can disregard this message. It's probably a number mix-up. My apologies. Otherwise, if you have an issue with paying your bill, you're free to take it up with our legal department. Their email is on our website where you scheduled the consultation. Hope that clears things up. Have a nice day. Patrick would respond, I own it. No, I did not make an appointment for pest control. We don't have a pest problem. You have been had by cyberstalkers impersonating me using my private data. Sorry, but you're going to have to eat this one. My name is not Rick. The pest control troll wrote back saying, With all due respect, sir, unless these stalkers caused you to not be home or answer our calls this morning, I don't see how that has anything to do with your missed consultation. The disclaimer on the scheduling form states you are responsible for any no-show fees. Patrick texted back, I didn't schedule or ask for a consultation, sir. So no, I will be giving you $50. Didn't fill out a scheduling form. And now you're going to drop this and stop texting this number, or you're being reported to the Better Business Bureau. The troll would write in response, I'm just doing my job. No need to get upset. If you have an issue with the bill, you can reach out at our legal department's email or the number on the back of the bill you'll receive. We require a $50 no-show fee due to prevent scheduling issues and prevent abuse. That's why there was a disclaimer above the form you filled out on our website. Patrick wrote back in anger, There is no bill, sir, and if you send me one, you will be reported and sued for harassment. Do not contact this number again. You have already been instructed to cease. Continued contact of any kind constitutes criminal harassment and will be reported to law enforcement. Didn't fill out a form on your website, dipshit. If I did, I'd know my own fucking name, wouldn't I? The troll would write back, telling Patrick, Understood, but it's beyond my control now. Call the number on the back of the bill or reach out to legal if you wish to dispute it. Patrick would fire back, No, it isn't beyond your control. If I get a bill of any kind from your company, you will go on report. If you contact this number again, you will be turned over through the police for telephone harassment. The end. The troll would reply to Patrick, Okay, well, I work in the office here and I'm just following our protocol. Again, legal can straighten this out with you. We have to pay for gas and our time when people bail on consultations. You can speak with them if there's an issue. Next time, please be more considerate of our time. Thanks. Patrick would write back again, saying, You will not send me a bill. You do, you're fired. Getting it yet? The troll would write back one final time. That is not your call, sir, and there's no need to be hostile. I'm sure management can settle this if you want them to. Or you can just pay the bill, since nobody was there after you scheduled an appointment with us. That's not really my problem. Thank you. Have a nice day. This exchange paints Patrick as highly gullible, illustrating how he reacts by lashing out at someone he perceives as a customer service rep at a random pest control company. As you saw, Patrick would quickly resort to threats of legal action, and ultimately threatening to have the individual fired. In another text exchange from July 2023, another O and A forums user would text Patrick, "Thank you for signing up for Adult Diaper Sex Chat. Our service is for users 18 and older. Reply yes to accept our service agreement plus $6.99 a month. Reply, stop to cancel. Message rates apply." Patrick would hastily text back, "No." The troll would respond saying, "Thank you for accepting our trial service. You will be billed a one-time $4.99 fee for this 2HRS limited trial. Hot, horny, dirty diaper cocks are hungry for your asshole and ready to fuck. Have you ever smelled a ripe diaper still full of hot shit? I might come just thinking about it." Patrick, out of sheer desperation, would reply again, "Stop!" An anonymous submission to WikiLeaks was posted to O and A forums on March 28, 2024, showing messages from a troll reading the following: "Fuck you, faggot. Censored, etc. all fucked you. Cry fat about it. You're draining followers who are all seeing your gay porno and your death threat criminal conviction. Tommy was never a bull rider and was never in the PBR. You are a liar. Kyle was varsity. O and A wins. Get protested, fatty. Quasi got paid and Dan made you cry. You're fat, short, fat, effeminate, fat, weak, and fat." Patrick would reply, "I'm not losing any followers, stalker. I've never had more, in fact. I have no prono and have never been convicted of any crime. My father was a bull rider for 6 years, as was his brother. My brother was never an athlete and was never varsity anything. One loses everything, forever. Quasi was paid nothing, and will never be paid anything. Dan's life has already come to an end. No, stalker. I'm none of those things either. These are your delusions, stalker, caused and maintained by your crippling mental illness. This illness has compelled you to commit crimes, like the one you are committing right this very moment. These crimes have already ended your life. All that's left now is your arrest and years of imprisonment. Enjoy, stalker. You are going to prison, stalker. You are mentally ill, stalker. You have been instructed many thousands of times to cease contacting this phone number. Continuing to do so constitutes felony telephone harassment. Do not contact this number again." As evident, Patrick can become quite contentious during these exchanges and appears to become quite emotional while composing his responses. The last text message character I'd like to cover today is the controversial O and A member Fez Fucked Baby Love. Unlike other forums members, this troll appears to be an actual criminal of sorts, and some of his previous posts have even shown illegal activity, specifically videos and pictures of hard drugs like meth, Xanax, and what appears to be small quantities of fentanyl. Known as FFBL, this user seems to be a fentanyl addict that would text pictures of his drugs to Patrick in order to troll and provoke him. In response to Patrick's prison threats, FFBL would often gloat that he had been to prison previously, that he was not afraid of imprisonment, and that he would be able to acquire a cell phone and drugs while inside, so he could continue sending trolling text messages to Patrick. Let's look at a couple of these shocking text exchanges, which may be some of the most shocking things to be shared to O and A forums. In one interaction posted on May 20th, 2022, FFBL would write Patrick saying, "Hello, fat poop judgment debtor. You've heard of Apostlegate, but last night your dyke wife Nikki got Apostle gaped. Thomas Apostle's wide-ass dick stretched her nasty fucking fart hole wider than a triple dose of Tyrone." Along with this message, he attached a picture that appears to show Perk 30 fentanyl pills and a piece of tin foil used to smoke them, as well as a book about weight loss called Fat Cure. He would also write, "You should check out this book. You need it." Patrick would write in response, "No, stalker, I don't. And no, stalker, he didn't. You are going to find yourself in prison. Very soon." In another text conversation with Patrick, FFBL would write, "Hello, succulent-lipped SWAT false flagger. You have successfully registered for Foil Fent Fat Facts brought to you by Callahan Auto. Here's today's awesome daily facts of the day. You currently owe Quasi $40,000. The Milwaukee police allowed Jeffrey Dahmer to rape and murder 14 men and are allowing you to turn into pepperoni. Stop taking it for granted. Nikki eats more pills than I do. The media refuses to touch your stinky, smelly lie of a story. 2 hits of this blue got me nodding, so Emma saved the rest for later. Thanks for subscribing. $14.88 has been charged to your bill. To unsubscribe, reply gullible. With this message, he would include another image of what appears to be a Percocet being smoked off of tin foil. Patrick would reply, saying, I owe him nothing, stalker. That is another one of your delusions. The police are investigating you right now, stalker. You are utterly fucked. Enjoy prison. This would send FFBL into a tirade, with him writing in response. For the millionth time, prison is a vacation for me, you stupid. I will be in there trading ramen packs for Ativan and smoking spice blunts. The texts and calls will not cease when I'm in prison, and cell phones are extremely easy to acquire. And when I get out ill, have recruited several homies to fart up your wife's medicated pussy. Do not doubt us, we will blow that shit out the frame. Patrick would respond, You will never lay a hand on my wife, stalker. She does not have a thing for mental patient incels. And you will never get out of prison. You are going to prison, stalker. You are mentally ill, stalker. You have been instructed many hundreds of times to cease contacting this phone number. Continuing to do so constitutes felony telephone harassment. Do not contact this number again. As you can see, Patrick seems deeply committed to responding to the trolls, well beyond the point of reason. Because Patrick insists on replying, his claims about being harassed don't hold much weight, as it seems he is constantly engaging in arguments and exchanging messages with these so-called harassers, instead of blocking and ignoring them, as a reasonable person might do. The trolling of Patrick has also included prank calls and voicemails in the past, although these are not shared as frequently as text messages.
Hey, what's up, dog? Hey, what's your problem?
Kill yourself.
Hello?
Go fuck yourself.
Hey, what's
Hello?
up, dog? Hey, what's your problem?
My God, fucking kill yourself. Just fucking kill yourself.
Hey, what's up, dog? Hey, what's your problem?
Fucking kill.
Hey, yo, what up? This Tyrone.
Fuck off.
Yo, you there?
While we're on the topic of phone calls with Patrick, I probably should mention the most well-known, and without a doubt the funniest phone call recording of Patrick, is the call known as Josiah Tape number 5. If you have watched the previous videos in this series, you are already probably familiar with this half-hour-long recording, as it features Patrick crying and screaming into the phone as he confronts Josiah, the troll who misled Patrick into thinking he was being interviewed by Huffington Post. As I have featured this call extensively on previous videos, I don't think it's necessary to go over it again for this one. However, if you are new to the Patrick Tomlinson saga, I highly recommend checking out the full phone call, which is the 5th call on the phone calls webpage found on apostlegate.net. Additionally, at one point, trolls also sent a series of troll faxes to bars that Patrick frequented, which included images of Pat performing oral sex on President Donald Trump. Another incident worth bringing up is when the previously mentioned troll turned investigative journalist Space Edge, aka Thomas Apostle, got several of Patrick's news appearances canceled by contacting journalists and telling them the truth about what was going on. After Fox 6 published an article in 2022, Apostle would contact their general manager to complain about the story and its inconsistencies. This call was accompanied by a parody of Jesse Ventura's television program Conspiracy Theory, which is too hilarious not to include. It is brimming with jokes and references regarding Patrick's lawsuit and ongoing drama with the O and A forums. However, if you haven't watched my previous videos or closely followed this story, you may not be familiar with some of the events and topics being discussed.
Hidden genders, secrets, swattings, obesity. You think you know the whole story? Think again, child. I've been governor, a Navy SEAL, a fighter. I've heard things that will blow your mind, and now I think it's time you get the whole story. This time we go deep into the Patrick Tomlinson conspiracy theory. Tomlinson wants us to believe that he's an innocent victim of cyber terrorists. He says these terrorists use highly advanced tactics and are funded by a sophisticated network of dark money. Is this true? Well, Seth Simons may believe everything he's told, but not me. I'm going to find out the truth. We investigate vandalism claims. That's clearly him. Bomb threats.
Is his name Patrick Tomlinson? He is on Twitter saying that there were bomb threats at your hotel, and I was trying to confirm if this was true or not.
No, we didn't get no bomb threat.
You're sure about
If I
this?
believe I wouldn't be here. I'm positive.
Okay.
Wow. We're gonna look this up. If we have to, we'll call the police, because that was a lie.
Jeff Rauner's suspicious behavior and how he sent photos of his child to a pedophile activist. Forged court evidence. Transsexual activists sending hormones to your children. And more. Then I go full frogman and expose a sinister Milwaukee man's plot to swat himself for attention. Using the mainstream media, a cabal of activists posing as real journalists try to attack hardworking American heroes. I meet with Alex Jones, who gives me the scoop.
I don't want to see him kissing goblins, having political succubus with goblins. I don't want to see him ingratiating goblins. Looks to guide him through the mines of Moria. He used the Lord of the Rings analogy. If you're not a J.R.R. Tolkien fan, you won't know what I'm talking about, but I think most people are from the movies. It's one thing if he has a guide that's kind of a bad guy to take him through the mines of Moria or under the mountain. But if you catch him kissing goblins, or if you catch him in bed with a goblin, that's a problem.
Alex Jones gave me documents that opened my eyes. It turns out that Tomlinson was caught red-handed lying about white supremacists.
That's right, Jesse. Even though Patrick claims it's white supremacists attacking him, he knows full well that's not true. A black woman and an Asian woman were featured regularly on Nice Podcast Stupid, which was mentioned by news outlets. Well, how can black and Asian women be KKK members, Jesse?
That's exactly right.
Is it true you also obtained recordings of conversations with the Fox 6 general manager?
That's right. And Alex also gave me this top secret email that was sent to the general manager of Fox 6.
To transfer you to our general manager?
Yes.
Hold on one moment, please.
Hello?
I was wanting to talk to you about the conduct of one of your journalists.
Okay.
The name is Ashley Sears. They released an article on the 5th that was full of information that Ashley clearly never looked at or researched. I was wondering if you guys had any policies on, publishing stories. Do you have any kind of review whatsoever?
Well, do me a favor, who's calling, please?
Oh, this is Daniel Mullen.
How do you spell your last name, Daniel?
Mullen. I'm an independent journalist. I'm reporting on this story.
No, there'll be no statement.
It's very clear to me now that Patrick Tomlinson is faking these crimes in order to escape his crushing debt to an Indian-American man named Rahul Kumar. It's a pretty grim world we live in when a man can just flat-out lie to multiple news agencies and not one single reporter takes the time to even Google his name. Until next time, I'm Jesse Ventura, and this is Conspiracy Theory.
As you can see, the O and A forums community is actually quite creative and diverse, contrary to what Patrick claims. Alongside the long-standing tradition of sharing satirical fan art on the subreddit and forums, many members of the O and A community have showcased their musical talents in the past. One notable musician is Motley Pooh, a YouTube song parody artist who has uploaded numerous parody cover songs about Patrick and other individuals involved in his saga. While I'm about to share some of Motley Pooh's greatest hits with you, I suggest you check out his YouTube channel for the full catalog of songs. Without further ado, I present to you Motley Pooh.
I took 100 grand from science fiction pedophiles. I cut the Brewers mini marathon by 7 miles. I watched my wife take 30 cubic pints of nigger farts, and I own a V6 Mustang car. Yeah. I watched the wife get filled by 30 pints of nigger farts. After all, I have a micro putt and grandma balls. I really don't mind, I like to be a cup. I'm Sue and a boon job man, wish me luck. If I go crazy, then will you still buy my book, Tiny Tim? If I get drunk and take my bike and kill a homeless black kid, I text you back when you send recipes for fish and chips. Better big. What's with these stalkers dissing my wife? Why do they gotta troll? Why did we ever do to these guys to make them call me fat? But you know I'm gay, and I know you're dyke. Oh, we all look just like John Wayne Gacy. Oh, and you Rosie O'Donnell. I don't care what they say about us anyways, except that I'm not fat.
The last topic I'll cover today is the accusations made by users of the O and A forums about Patrick cheating at the 2016 Brewers mini marathon. Forum user Carol Max Heine would do a deep dive investigation into the marathon and claims to have made several interesting discoveries. He alleges that Patrick cut the track in order to cheat at the marathon, and that he missed many of the timing mats as a result. Additionally, Carol Max Heine suggests that there are very few images of Patrick running at this marathon compared to previous ones. All of this, he claims, adds up to prove Patrick cheated at the marathon and cut the track. Despite this, Patrick was supposedly one of the last people to finish the marathon. Patrick denies the claims that he cheated at the marathon, though he has made other questionable claims about marathons he's ran in the past as well, so it's not clear to me who is telling the truth here. That's all for tonight. Thanks for watching. This has been Cryptic Web Chronicles.
Piggy, piggy, grandma balls. Ooh, yeah. Patrick, why's your sack so small? We all saw your tiny Tims, and your wife's a lesbian.